Hello and welcome to the 6 Degrees of Feature Film Show. We'll just call it a show.
Yeah.
I
Show.
am a
Putting on the show.
xenomorph, also known as Brienne, also known as Miss Movies.
And I am her short boy haircut, also known as Stacey Howard.
Okay.
I was talking about that wig and I want to talk about it. I don't know if
Okay.
you read the same trivia I did, but I was like, that's hilarious.
Are we talking about Catherine Waterstone of
Yes.
Alien Covenant?
What?
Wait a minute. Okay, so Alien Covenant is our feature film today.
It's his.
If you have never seen this show, here's how it works. Thank you for joining us, first of all. But we take one film and we show how 6 other films link up to it in some random way, shape, or form. And today, our feature film that we're starting off with, that we're kicking it all off with, is Alien Covenant.
Oh my God.
But before we get into Alien Covenant, we're going to normally we have a guest and normally we talk to that guest and we say, hey, what's up, who are you, what's going on, tell us all about yourself.
What's your name?
But when we don't have a guest, when it's just us, we just want to check in, say what's up, what's happening, what's new with you, what's going on, Stacey.
Oh my gosh, so many things are happening. I found some milk duds in my pocket, so that was awesome.
I got some milk duds in my pocket.
Got that chocolate in my mouth. Okay. I've got something coming out this weekend.
You do.
There's a video that's coming
Friday.
out with me in it, and
you're in it.
I'm in it. I'm answering some movie things.
Or you're gonna be in it.
I'm gonna be in it.
Yes.
It's my Schmodown singles match. Finally, debut. I'm on my own little lonesome, you guys. I didn't have my emotional crutch and soul sister, Miss Movies Brienne Chandler, with me. It was all me, just by myself with my opponent, Jonathan. I always forget how to pronounce his last name. Voico. And it was a fabulous time, and I'm so excited for it to come out. So excited for you guys to see it. And just, cheer me on when you find that video.
You're going to do great.
I'm super nervous, but I'm excited at the same time.
Okay, good.
So I just want everyone to like me and for us all to get along. I also just want to crush.
You're Sally
Field. Fucking dominate. Yes. I'm Sally
We like
Field.
You. We really like you.
Yes. Yes. Fabulous. What's going on with you? What's happening?
Oh, what's going on with me? Okay, I had this dream last night and it was scary. It was a scary dream. I feel like I should pitch it as a horror film.
Okay.
Here's what happened. Here's kind of the basics, because when you have a dream, it's like really disjointed. Right? So it's you don't really know like where it started or how it's really working. Actually, speaking of Sally Field, she was in my dream, a younger Sally Field. She was playing my mom. And there were 4 girls. I was one of her daughters. I was like maybe the second oldest.
Okay.
And I don't know what was up with our dad. He was around somewhere. I don't really know. But anyways, our oldest daughter got into some big trouble and people were coming for her. Like we knew she was going to be murdered. Like we knew people were coming for her.
This is serious. What did she do?
I don't remember.
I don't parking
know.
Space? Probably.
Probably. Yes. Oh man, parking. But
LA parking.
She basically like had like a 6-minute lead time of which she could like leave the house, and we knew that she would be ahead of the people that were looking for her. Kind of like, yes, Star Drew, kind of like Sally Field and Mrs. Doubtfire. And so then she leaves and I help her get on her way. And I don't know who this person is. This is someone I've never seen before ever in my life. All I know is myself and Sally Field.
Okay.
And then young Sally Field.
Okay.
And then Sally Field is then making breakfast for myself and for the 2 younger sisters. Okay. And they, I was maybe like in my 20s and they were like in their teens or something. And one of them goes to drink something. And I notice while she is at the table and while I'm in another room, I notice Sally Field grabbing a gun. And I was like, uh-oh, something's going to happen. Like, there's something not right here. And
is she the one coming for the daughter?
Yes. And I was like, wait a minute, we're all gonna die. Because then
my God,
that child was poisoned and immediately died. And I somehow may have gotten away with the other sister. I'm not sure. But it was frightening.
Okay.
I was frightened.
That's a plot twist I didn't see coming, except for in the middle of the conversation.
Well, kind of. Once the gun appears, then you're like, what? Strange dreams.
Wow.
Strange dreams, guys.
pre-Aunt May.
Not exactly
Sally
eye for an
Fields.
eye, Alan, but I mean, yeah, she was badass in that, and she was coming for Kiefer Sutherland. But no, because if it were the opposite and she killed her daughter, it would kind
It's
of
like not without my daughter, except I'm gonna kill my daughter.
maybe.
Wow, wow, what a dream!
I don't know.
What a
That's what
time to
happened.
be alive.
What a time to be
Kofifi, you
alive.
guys. Kofifi. I don't know I don't know what's happening in life. I don't know what's happening on the show.
Do you? And then this
No.
weekend, I'm going to San Francisco to
Oh,
see
that's
Kind of
right.
Funny Live 3. If you're there, ask me some
Yes.
trivia questions. I've been doing like
Yes.
regular periscopes where I have people like give me trivia questions.
I love trivia questions. I did like a
Mhm.
little, I tweeted out a couple days ago. I was
Yes.
like, give me some. And
Mhm.
I was like, shit, I don't know, like 75% of these. I got a few
People
right
get
though.
hard ones because they get very specific about movies that they love,
Right.
and we need you
Right.
to go broader.
Yeah. We need like who directed Jurassic Park
I don't.
broad.
Oh yeah, there you go. The ride. Is
Yeah.
that what you said?
Yeah, the ride. The ride, totally. Um yeah, yeah. So we need like general like things that you would see on the Schmodown, things you might be
Mhm.
asked in like a bar movie trivia thing. You know how bars have those little
Yeah.
trivia nights?
Right.
I rule at
Those
those.
can sometimes get difficult too, but
Those can
a
get
lot of
hard, yeah.
times they do a broad spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But people get very specific, and I'm
They
like, I
do.
didn't see that film, and if
Yeah.
I did, I probably still wouldn't know
Yeah.
what his aunt's middle name was.
No idea. And half the stuff I'm like, I haven't even heard of this and I feel bad. And I'm like, I feel like this proves I don't know movie trivia, but I'm like, I do know some of it. So
Sure.
tweet us your questions, Periscope with us. We need this practice.
Yeah.
We need to keep developing our skill set and eventually
Mhm.
take over the show and the world. But don't tell anyone because it has to be a secret until it happens.
Right.
Okay,
That's right.
it has to be that no one sees it coming. It's like a duck with the feet moving. You know, it's like all the work is under the surface, and then like the duck's there. I don't
Mhm.
know about that analogy or if that worked, but
I
we're
don't
on
know.
this show
I don't
talking
know.
about a movie today, and I'm
We are.
excited. Yeah.
Let's get to that movie. That movie
Okay.
is Alien Covenant, which came out
Whoa.
May 19th, 2017. So recently. If you have not seen Alien Covenant, I think we'll probably be talking about it for 10 minutes or less.
Yeah. So maybe go
maybe
back,
8 minutes.
go maybe get some coffee, take a poop, and
Because
then come back.
we're gonna we're gonna talk about it and why I don't like it. I don't know if you
I
liked it.
didn't like it either.
Okay,
No.
good. All right. Well, at least we're on the same page.
But we need to talk about it though.
Yes, we
Like,
need to discuss.
yeah.
So
It's important.
here's the basics. If you have not seen it and don't plan to and would like to stay watching now, great. Otherwise, I would click out, come back in about, like we said, 8 to 10 minutes. So it is about the crew of the colony ship bound for a remote planet discover an uncharted paradise with a threat beyond their imagination and must attempt a harrowing escape. Directed by Ridley Scott. The people that did the screenplay are John Logan and Dante Harper. There's a few other people listed as writers. This is starring Michael Fassbender, Catherine Waterstone, Billy Crudup, Danny McBride, as well as some other people. And you know what? I was surprised that James Franco's role, like I didn't realize what I watched on the internet I wouldn't be seen in the movie. You know how they released that scene of them like having dinner before they're going to go into their hypersleep.
I didn't see that actually.
Oh,
I did
that's
not
actually
see that
very
one.
interesting. We'll
I
pull
just
that up
thought I
after
was like,
this.
oh wow, well they so and okay, so we're obviously gonna do spoilers
Yeah,
for the film.
right.
I saw him in this little cryo thing.
Mhm.
When you know the movie opens, and I was like, oh shit, James Franco's in this. I didn't see him in the trailers, and then he immediately dies, and I was like, they
Right.
just wasted a big star like James Franco. What? But apparently there
Yeah.
was more stuff, and they
There
cut
was
it.
more stuff.
Did not know
I don't.
this.
I feel like that was the intention.
Revelations.
The intention was we're going to release this first as like a short film to everyone. We want them to see this first to get them into the theater. And then
Okay.
we're going to move on from there. But I didn't realize that they weren't going to have that part, is my point.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know it existed. Did it like help you like the characters more, get more into their
You got,
story?
yeah, you
Like,
got a little bit more of an understanding of like these are couples
mhm.
on this ship. They're all like married or, you know, together, have been together for a long time. So you knew that they were part of the colonization, that they were going to be colonizing whatever new planet that they found.
That has to be. I was thinking about this when I was watching. That's got to be a really small pool of people. First of all, you have to be a couple.
Yes.
Second of all, you have to have some kind of skill set that would help with this. You're an
Mhm.
engineer, you're a pilot, you're a scientist, you're whatever that can help with all of this. C, you've got to be willing to give up your whole life and go colonize
Mhm.
another planet and have nothing going on there. D,
Yeah.
what if someone breaks up? What if someone cheats on each other? Like people only stay together an average of 10 years nowadays. So,
Whoa.
well, that's true
It's
though.
my 10-year wedding anniversary this
Oh,
year.
well, people that get married before 30. Did you get married before 30?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
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 But we've been together for 15.
There you go. Okay.
So,
there you go. It's if you're
I
together
don't know.
now,
I don't
average
know.
10 years. But like, what if you don't like the person? You're stuck with them. You move with them. You're on this new planet. You built a log cabin. You did the whole shebang. And what if you're like, I don't really like that you leave the toilet seat up? Like, what if
Yeah.
you piss each other off? That
And
sucks.
like I didn't realize till like the end of the film that there were all these other people in like cryo sleep in that like closet
Yeah.
or whatever that
Yeah.
was. I mean, I knew there were the babies, the
Right.
embryos, but
There's
then
the
there were
embryos.
also people down that hallway.
I think it's like 2000.
Yeah.
But I didn't
get
know-
that. I didn't pick up on that until the end.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were talking about because at first they were like, "Oh, there's 2,000 souls on board." I don't know if they meant like 2,000 embryos
Yeah,
or like
that's what I was thinking
2,000
too.
other people. So then why did they bring embryos if they have people? Like, why did they do
Just in
both?
case.
Just in
Security.
case, security, just in case everyone's
know.
sterile.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There could be that. There could be
Oh.
that.
Well, maybe cryo sleep plays with your junk.
Some other information. This
I don't
cost
know.
$97 million to make. So far has made $161 million at the box office. Not sure if that's just domestic or if that is also overseas. Because as we know, the domestic box office means nothing nowadays.
nada.
For big budget films, it means nothing.
Yeah, it's just you're making your budget back in America. That's it.
Maybe not even that.
Maybe not even that, but that's what I'm saying. Like the money for that is
Yeah.
just like to pay for the movie and the marketing. That's the American.
To actually
gross.
make money
Yeah.
beyond that,
Yeah,
it's
then you
the
got to do it
international.
international. You got to go big in China.
So when people are like, "Oh, Baywatch didn't do well. Oh, Pirates didn't do that well," I'm like, but it hasn't released overseas yet.
Yeah.
Like, and that's going to be the bigger factor in all of it.
And Baywatch is huge in Europe.
I can't
you guys.
wait to
They
see how it does
love
in Germany.
That's been in syndication since Baywatch the show. Like they watch that all the time. That's like Friends over there, I want to say. That may not be true. I may have just made up that fact.
Okay.
But I think it's like that. Cool. Oh, I read something. Can I talk about the wig?
Let's talk about the wig because I do want to get
Okay.
to that because you were discussing a wig.
Okay. Her hair was Catherine Waterstone's hair was very interesting in this. I thought she looked pretty adorable. You know, I'm not gonna lie. She's a beautiful woman. She really is. But her haircut, I was like, why did they choose that particular haircut for this? And what I read was this. The hairstyle that Daniel sports in the film was based on the wig worn by Ezra Miller, Catherine Waterstone's co-star in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It was Miller during a break while filming Beast who helped to film her audition video. So they took his ugly ass haircut in that movie and put it on her for the audition, and they were like, "Oh, let's just do that. Let's just do that."
Okay,
And it's like
let's do it.
split, and it's like a 1920s. It looks so strange, and I don't know.
But it looks good on her.
It looks good on her
Like,
because she's a gorgeous
it works
woman,
for
and
her.
anything would look good on her. But if I wore that, no, they would be like, "Who is this creature from the Black Lagoon?"
I have a wig that it's like a Sally Bowles wig. It is not good, but the problem is it's a cheap wig. Like if you get an expensive
Like a
wig,
$10,000.
well, I'm not getting a $10,000. I'm talking about like starting at like 50. That's a pretty good wig.
Okay.
50 and up
Oh, okay.
is pretty decent.
Oh, okay.
But when you're getting like $6 wigs, it's not gonna look great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Wigs, guys, wigs.
There's a lot of hair care that we can talk about on the show.
Good. I hate my hair currently, and I
hate
might
my
go all
hair
the way
currently.
blonde. What do you think of that?
I
Blonde.
think you would look beautiful with any hair color. I might chop mine off and do it pink. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. We need everyone's opinion on this. It's very, very important for Alien Covenant, the movie.
pink, atomic blonde,
Atomic blonde,
and then atomic pink.
atomic pink. Yes. We'll style it the same, but do different colors.
Sure.
Okay, so I know that Alien, the first one, is your favorite movie of all time.
It is my favorite movie of all time. I got a shirt on right now that's like the evolution of Alien, of the Alien. Yes, there we go.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, there you go.
Yep, getting bigger.
So let's get
the way it grows is incredible in this film. It's like baby for 1 minute,
Yeah,
and then a
and then it
full
goes,
on adult.
"Whoa."
2 minutes later.
It backwards Benjamin Buttons. It grows up, and it's like that movie with Robin Williams where he
Jack,
where he grows up where he grows up really quickly, and he's like a 40-year-old man at the age of 10.
Gosh, I haven't seen Jack in a long time.
Oh, J-Lo is in that. Jennifer Lopez is the teacher. That movie is crazy.
Those are some trivia questions.
That's trivia question right there.
Who's the teacher in Jack?
It was Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
I love it, you guys. What did you think about the plot, the continuation of Prometheus?
Okay, here's the thing.
Okay, get into this.
I found the more that I think about this movie now that I've watched it, the more I dislike it, because I feel like it demystifies Alien as a franchise. It's closed the loops. It's answered our questions. There's very few questions left, and that makes me sad because that's the whole thing. Like, the mystery is gone.
Yeah,
for me.
And that's what made what you're saying is that's what made Alien so special.
Yes,
and what you liked about it was the mystery.
Exactly.
And now it's like, we've shown everything now. Because originally Ridley Scott wanted to do just a straight up sequel to Prometheus, and they go to that home planet for what do they call them? The Guardians. What's it named?
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Guardians of the Galaxy. What's the
which what?
What's the name?
Where they go?
Hold on.
Okay, we're holding. I'm gonna vamp while you're
the
holding.
Engineers. Excuse me.
Yes.
Jesus Christ! You can't think of the word engineers. Wow, am I ready for Schmodown? The Engineers' home planet, and they see how their entire, race works. How do they create humanity? What all that happened there? Who are our makers? That was what the movie was going to be. But then, because Prometheus got mixed reviews, he was like, let's just kind of skip over that, and we'll have Michael Fassbender's character David go insane, and he is like a mass murderer.
Yeah.
And now it's like after that, and you go there 8 years later, and that's what you come upon. It's so weird.
We're coming up on 10 minutes. So let's close this up so we can be nice to anyone that did click out.
Okay.
And maybe you did, and they're ready to come back. But anyways, the reason I didn't like this film is because I feel it answered too many questions, and I just felt like that changes the Alien original franchise for me.
Okay, that's not good.
Which is frustrating.
I will say that I did like the Fassbender on Fassbender Love Fest.
Yes.
Was very into that. Very turned on. And I don't know if I'm turned off yet from it, because I would like to see a little bit more of that. Who doesn't want to see Fassbender macking with Fassbender?
I want to see Bean John Malkovich remade as Bean Michael Fassbender.
Yes, and it's just him the whole time.
I feel like we need that.
In like a dress in a restaurant. It's fantastic.
Fassbender?
Fassbender.
Oh, we got to do that movie sometime.
Okay, let's do it. Have we not done that?
No, I don't think we have.
I feel like
one last thing before we move on. Rebecca Ferguson was originally considered for the lead.
Nice. But then she did Life instead, which is, again, a being on a ship.
Oh, dear. Life. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Man.
Did you see it?
Not good. In my opinion, terrible. Okay, let's go on.
Shit. Why did they release this at the same time? Oh, no, when an alien's on a ship taking over, it's the same stuff. Why did they do that? Why does the industry do that? You know what's coming out. Everyone's in the big Hollywood circle jerk at the same parties. You know what you're doing. Why would you want to release a movie around within like 2 months of each other? That's the same thing. Doesn't make any sense.
How things work.
I just don't know how it works
all the time.
Who makes phone calls and has a conference call about this? I want to be in that.
Off of Alien Covenant, we are going to link it to reboots. That's simple. Reboots. This is a reboot.
Yes.
Of the Alien franchise. I mean, I don't know, Prometheus, we could maybe say that's the reboot, but this actually has Alien in the name, so therefore I consider this a reboot. Would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I'll chat for a bit about mine, and then I want to talk more about yours.
Excellent, because I did not see your film, nor did I have the time to rent it, so I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Neil Varma has already guessed it. Because I think I put it in the title.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
No, but this one, this one I was excited to talk about because my brother loved Dredd. This is 2012's Dredd. Judge Dredd came out in 95.
I did see that one.
You did?
I did.
Oh, did
I
you
saw
now?
Sylvester
Did
Stallone.
you know? And
not great.
Yeah, not great. And we saw, guess what else we saw? His face the whole time.
Yeah,
That's
you're not supposed
Judge
to do
Dredd.
that.
You're not supposed to do that. What?
People
I
were
know
pissed.
I know it's Stallone. I know it's a big star, but that is not canon. That is not.
I think that was a Stallone. Like if you want me in this, mug. Yeah, I will show my face.
You want this? You want the moneymaker? This is it.
This is the moneymaker. This is the moneymaker.
2012's Dredd. If you haven't seen it, a violent futuristic city where the police have the authority to act as judge, jury, and executioner. A cop teams with the training to take down a gang that deals with the reality-altering drug slow-mo. Directed by Pete Travis, stars Carl Urban. Everyone's favorite. Is he from New Zealand? Everyone's favorite
so.
Kiwi?
No. Australia?
No?
Well,
No,
I mean, maybe. You're right. You could be New Zealand.
Someone in the chat, please correct me on this because I don't feel like Googling that. Olivia Thirlby, Lena Headey. Come on, you guys.
Yes,
Game of Thrones. Is it Headey or Hetty?
Don't know.
Who cares? Okay. So this film was important because fans were like clamoring for it. They were like, Judge Dredd 95 sucked. They didn't get it right. They didn't care about it. They didn't treat it the way we wanted to. So Carl Urban and team just went, we're going to fix this. We're going to make a awesome nod to the comic books. We're going to stay true to character, true to form.
Okay.
And they did this incredible world that they've created. The visuals were stunning. The action was awesome. The characters were great. The acting caliber, everything was on point. It just, and it did well, but it wasn't successful enough for it to go on to make a franchise and be like this huge comic book film, the way that Marvel and DC have become these gigantic monsters.
So Carl Urban is the main character.
Carl Urban is Judge Dredd. Yes.
Okay.
He teams up with Olivia Thirlby, who was Juno's best friend in Juno. Okay. If you remember, with the bunny having an affair with the teacher.
Oh.
That girl.
That's unfortunate. Okay.
Yeah. She was also in she was in a couple episodes of Bored to Death. Always bringing the mic up. A couple episodes of Bored to Death where she played Jason Schwartzman's like girlfriend in the beginning. Okay. So she's funny. She's got great comedic chops, but in this film she's very serious, and there's a very it's like dirty and gritty, and you're like uncomfortable with a lot of stuff that's happening in the film, but you realize that this is the world that they're living in and that they have to deal with. So it's just full of crime. They go into, it's kind of like The Raid, where they go into like a singular structure that one person has rule over the whole domain and everyone lives in fear of. And so that's kind of the premise of the film. And Lena Headey plays Mama, who is the big drug kingpin of this apartment complex called Peachtree. It's like a giant city within an apartment complex, basically. Like no one goes outside really. And it's filled with crime and dirty goings on, and everything's gross and weird. And they have this drug that they sell called slow-mo, and it slows down everything really, really slow for you.
So pot,
but like times the upteenth degree.
All right.
And it's like you're going on a slow-mo camera, like, ooh. You can keep talking while I'm doing this. Ooh.
I don't know what I'm going to be saying, but
that's all right. That's okay. I stopped at the end.
Good.
So it's just cool. Comic book fans and fans of Carl Urban, fans of anything to do with this franchise's canon loved it, and they were like, "This is amazing." But it didn't have the money, didn't have the huge push behind it to become this gigantic thing where they could do sequels and everything. And the producers, the director, Carl Urban, everyone that was involved with the film kind of knew that going in. They're like, we're not out to make a gigantic movie. We just want to do Judge Dredd right. We just want to do it a service, you know? So
and
that's
you
what
felt
they wanted.
It did that service for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I loved this film. My older brother loved this film as well. I remember him taking me to see this. I was in college, and I think my junior year or something. Okay. And he was like, yo, sis, we got to go see Dredd. They finally got it right this time, I heard. It's Carl Urban. Okay, we got to go. And I was like, oh, the guy from Lord of the Rings? Cool. All right, let's do this shit. So we did it, and it was awesome. Watch Dredd. It's great. There you go.
I'm going to watch it because I need to be up on this. And I did see the original one with Stallone, which was not good. I swear Courtney Cox is in that one. I can't remember.
Gosh, really?
I can't remember if that was
I think she
what
plays
I
his
watched.
trainee. I don't
So
know.
I need to. I
Someone
definitely
correct us
need
on that
that.
too.
Yeah, let me know. We're also going to be talking now off of Dredd. We're going to talk about another reboot which came out recently, which is Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers! Mighty Morphin Power Rangers! I think I got my notes wrong. No, I got it right. Okay, March 24th,
Cool.
2017. Hooray, hooray. This is about a group of high school students who are infused with unique superpowers and they harness their abilities in order to save the world. Directed by Dean Israelite and written by John Gattens. He did the screenplay. Starring how the heck do you say this guy's name? Dacre Montgomery.
Dasray.
Who knows? Naomi Scott, R.J. Seiler or Kyler. Guys, I'm terrible. And Becky G. Those are like the main kind of characters in this. Bryan Cranston is also a main character. And Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
Who's just trying to look like a supermodel the entire time. It's like,
She
is this a supermodel pose? Am I a supermodel?
Awesome. She pulled it off, bro. I loved what she did with that character. I liked the right amount of evil and the right amount of cheese and like over the top fun she was having, and it made it look ridiculous, but she was genuinely frightening.
Yeah, she was. Now here's the question.
Okay.
This came out as a series. This would be more like your childhood, right? Or was that a little before your time? Where did that fall?
The first Power Rangers series, I want to say, started in '93, so I was 3.
Okay.
So I was a little bit too young, but my brother watched it. So I remember watching it through osmosis.
Like yes. It was
I was in the room playing with toys and it was on. And then I did see, like, I remember what was the one with it's not Secret of the Ooze because that's Ninja Turtles, right? But there's Power Rangers and
Turbo something.
And it was the one with like the green or no, the purple guy that looks like Apocalypse from X-Men. He looks like the same thing. It's basically the same character. I remember that movie and seeing that in theaters and loving that film.
Okay.
So Power Rangers was a part of my childhood. I did love the Pink Ranger. I wanted to be her. I wanted to be Kimberly because I thought she was cool and girly and everything I wanted to be.
Ivan Ooze is what people are telling me.
Ivan Ooze, yes.
The 95 movie had Ivan Ooze.
That's right. So yeah, it was around my household. It was around kindergarten. You know,
this was a series that I was a little too old for by the time it released on television. My sister-in-law, who's 4 years younger than I am, was in an episode as like a Girl Scout or something.
Whoa!
Yeah. Good times. But this new movie, I thought was a really great reboot to the series. I don't know how people that grew up with it feel about it though, because maybe they have different feelings. And I didn't see the original film, but I have seen some of the episodes of the show. I loved that short film that they had with Katie Sackhoff and James Vanderbeek, which it's not in the same universe, but I really appreciated that someone took the time to create some sort of fan short film about it. The only thing I didn't like about this film was the pacing. Like I felt things came together. It like some things took too long and some things took too short to do. Like I felt like it kind of came together a little too quickly. Like, oh, we can work as a team now. I was like, but you just got into this big Megazord for the first time and you already know how to use it. Like it just didn't click with me as to like how that would work. I feel like you'd need some trials.
Well, that was his trial,
but
though.
They had their own trials.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's
my only thing. Like I felt like it needed to be split into more films to like get to the part where they can defeat her. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna disagree with you on that because I really liked the pacing, and if you want to reboot something that has had so much activity already, you had a show, you've had several films, you've gone through the whole thing, the whole franchise. If you want to redo it, you need to include a little bit from all of those things to be successful because you've already seen where it can go. So if you want to like redo everything, you can't just do like a little bit of it and be like, okay, we're gonna do a little bit here, and then like 5 movies later finally get to that because it's already you're already overwhelmed.
Right.
There's already too much going on. So if
Mhm.
you want to try and encompass all of that in one film and be like, okay, we got to get it right this first time, and then if we do that, then we can go on to other stories. Like they had a lot riding on this, you know.
Yes.
So I felt like they did need to include all that. You got to have their, dino things. You got to have, specific villains they've had in the past. You have to have them go through trials and tribulations as a team and finally come together at the end.
Mhm.
So I feel like they needed to have all that stuff in order for it to be a
But
successful
then
reboot.
that's like putting so much into one thing that I feel that's why I feel like it needed to have more of a series like of movies.
Mm-hmm. But
Because
if
you're
they have,
trying to do all that.
yeah. But
And
if
you want to do it right. And I feel like I like how they did this. I do feel they did it right, but I felt that some things were rushed and some things were too slow. But I don't know. I do agree with Alan. Was it like Chronicle? There was a lot that I felt was like Chronicle because how they get their powers is kind of in a Chronicle-esque way. Um, and I believe Max Landis did some work on this for a while. I don't. He's not credited as a writer, but I think he had some concepts that were used and some concepts that were thrown out. Did you see that? He wanted to change
oh, the
the
guy was
pink
gonna be the
and the
Pink
black.
Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were like, "We're not doing that." I don't know. That's supposedly that was in trivia.
It would have been awesome if they did that just to see the reaction from people. But I feel like Max Landis, he's known to do that, where he's like, I'm just gonna do something crazy and see what people say, see how they squirm, which is not the best sometimes for franchises like this. I will say that I'm sure a lot of people might have heard about a little bit of backlash this film got from the fact that they did have an LGBT character,
right,
but they didn't address it enough,
right.
and so they were upset about that. And I will agree with the backlash it got, because
They
here's the
didn't
thing.
address it enough. If they were going to have a character like that, you would
Yeah,
think that they would put it a little more at the forefront, but
right.
it wasn't
Because
at
some
all.
people were like, okay, you don't get credit for having the
Yeah,
first gay superhero, and she's not saying, oh, I'm gay, I have a girlfriend, and she's not showing, oh, like you could have shown, she could have said, yes, my girlfriend, A, and B, you could have shown a little bit at her home life, because if she has that very strong conservative, I think she's like Catholic. I think that's what her mother was talking about. If you show that in the struggle you have at home with coming out to your family, that's a real thing that LGBT youth go
right.
through. And that's a huge issue in our society. So if they had shown at least a little bit of that, just have one sentence in there, then you would have really gotten into issues that would relate to teens today, and it wouldn't be a cop out. Like people were saying, you don't get credit for having the first gay superhero, but then she's not really gay because you don't talk about it. Like you're chickening out, is what they're saying, and I agree with
Sure.
that. I
And we don't
agree
know
100%.
what was cut either.
Yeah,
So there's
but I don't think
that.
they should have cut it. I think
Yeah,
they should have
that's
included
true.
it. They
And
didn't.
as Randall
They
Sand
chickened out.
says, kind of like Beauty and the Beast. Like they kind of had this, um, oh, is this character,
Oh, it's like a hint.
a hint. But we're not going to completely say it just because.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I'm like, just because we're scared. I'm like, okay, but just do, and because they're worried about the
So
backlash.
do it or don't.
Yeah.
Like
They're worried
either
about
go
the
all in or
backlash about
don't.
it. Yeah.
That's
I'm like, okay, but you're gonna get bigger backlash from not doing it. And they're like, well, we might lose ticket sales from being too offensive. And I'm like, this is what happens. Okay, this is how change is too slow sometimes, where you're like, oh, but what if this and this? How about you just do it and then deal with the consequences later?
Sure.
It's important to just go for it and say, no, this is the message we want to get across,
right,
and this is what we should be doing. And you should do that in films. You should represent everyone correctly. You should have them involved in the filmmaking process so that they do get it right and they are sensitive to the material and to that group of people. And you should just respect it and have balls. Have some fucking balls, you guys. Okay, let's not be.
So when you're writing your
scaredy
screenplay,
cats. Yeah,
if you're gonna put in characters that have a specific background, like go in.
Yeah.
Don't stay on the surface.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's close that up.
Okay.
So we went from Alien Covenant, then we went to reboots, and we did Power Rangers as well as Dredd. And now we are going to link off of those.
Okay.
I'll start.
You
How about
go.
that? How about
You
that? I'm going
go.
to link off of Power Rangers.
Okay.
I'm going to do movies with donut scenes or donuts.
Oh, geez.
Movies that have donuts.
Okay, and what we're doing things a little different on our
Yes,
show now.
we are doing things different on the show now. So I'm linking off of that, and basically Stacy has to now, while I'm going over my film that has donuts in it, Stacy has to think like, what other films have donuts in them? And
Yeah.
how about if you're in the chat, give us some ideas of movies that have a scene in a donut shop or have a donut somewhere, so that way she has some to choose from if she can't think of anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that. I'm going with Primary Colors. Now, Primary Colors, I mentioned previously on an episode where we did like we play the movie fights home game, and it was like best movie president, and I said Primary Colors. So I talked briefly about it at that time. I'm gonna bring it up again. Sorry for making the thing go fuzzy. This came out in 1998 and it was directed by Mike Nichols, who also did The Graduate, Closer, and Charlie Wilson's War, and written by Joe Klein, who did the novel, and Elaine May, who did the screenplay. This is about Jack Stanton, who's running for president. The election is seen through the eyes of young Henry Burton. Along the way, Stanton must deal with a sex scandal. This is kind of loosely based off of Bill Clinton because he looks like Bill Clinton. And there is a scene where he is eating in a Krispy Kreme. And that's kind of where I first learned about Krispy Kreme, because we didn't have Krispy Kreme like that was anywhere near us in 98. So this was kind of the first, like, what is Krispy Kreme? And I guess they're all over the South, or maybe they were at the time.
Okay.
John Travolta is Governor Jack Stanton. Emma Thompson is in this, as well as Billy Bob Thornton, Kathy Bates, Adrian Lester, and Moira Turney. This was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Kathy Bates, and also nominated for Best Screenplay based on a previous work. Bates lost to Judi Dench for Shakespeare in Love, and the screenplay lost to Gods and Monsters, written by Bill Condon, or adapted by Bill Condon. So, yeah.
Nice.
Primary Colors is one of those interesting ones. And because at the time, Bill Clinton was president. So it was even more interesting to watch like kind of a persona of Bill Clinton be on the screen by John Travolta, who did a great job. And he was invited to come to the White House, but Bill Clinton wanted him to come as the character of Jack Stanton. And he was like, I'm not going to do that. Like,
yeah, that's
thanks
weird.
for inviting me.
Yeah.
I think that would be very strange. So I kind of like that he declined that. The lead was originally offered to Tom Hanks, who turned it down because of his friendship with the president at the time. And John Travolta gained 30 pounds to play this character. And it was the opening film at the 1998 Cannes Film Festival.
Really?
So there you go. A little bit of info.
Oh, okay.
Little bit of info. Here's an interesting bit of trivia that I also, and I don't know how true this is, but I think that it may have been because I remember reading it last time I went over this film. I don't think we talked about it though. During the shoot, Emma Thompson received a phone call in her trailer from Donald Trump.
She's talked about this, yes.
Yes, asking her out on a dinner date. Ugh. So she thought that, and what's even more interesting is she was kind of portraying Hillary Clinton in this film.
Oh my gosh, that's too. It's like life comes full circle sometimes, guys.
Doesn't it? I know she said no to him. She was like, I'm sorry. I'm not going
yeah, of course she's going to say no because he's a gross animal toad and she's Emma Thompson. She's lovely.
Yeah. This cast includes 3 Oscar winners, Emma Thompson, Billy Bob Thornton, and Kathy Bates, and 4 Oscar nominees, John Travolta, Diane Ladd, James Earl Jones, and Rob Reiner. So lots. It's stacked, as they would say,
stacked
as the kids would say. It's stacked.
Stacked with talent.
What movie with donuts would you like to discuss?
Okay. This is hard, you guys. What comes to mind, the first thing that came to my mind was Boogie Nights.
Oh, okay.
Because, I know we've already talked about
on
the show, which is fine. Because Don Cheadle's character his lovely wife is pregnant, and he goes into the donut shop to get her a bear claw and a bunch of other stuff, and is held at gunpoint.
Yes, because there's like a drug deal gone wrong.
Yeah, drug deal gone wrong. Something's happening. Shit goes down, but it's in a donut shop. Okay. So that's the first movie that comes to mind.
Okay,
great. Are there any others in the chat?
People were saying Iron Man 2.
I don't remember
see Iron Man 2.
I've seen it, but I don't remember.
because he's like in the Randy's Donuts. You know Randy's Donuts? It's a big donut. He's like sitting in the donut. Anyways,
Oh, okay.
Zootopia is another great one
Okay.
because like the
Zootopia.
donut and
People said
saves the
tangerine.
little mouse or whatever from the I don't know what animal it was
I
from
forgot
the
that one.
donut that was
Okay,
going to
I'm gonna
crush him.
scroll up in the chat a little bit.
Pulp Fiction. Here, let me help you
Oh,
with that.
Pulp Fiction. That's true. Yeah, can you help me? Pulp Fiction. There's donuts in Pulp Fiction. I mean, I'm sure they're in a donut shop at one point.
Super Troopers.
Super Troopers. Okay. We're going with Super Troopers. There's plenty of donuts in that. They're at donuts. They're at diners. They're chugging maple syrup. I do love Super Troopers, and we haven't talked about that film. So we're gonna go with Super Troopers.
Meow.
Right. We're gonna talk about Super Troopers. Right.
Okay. Here's a question. Where are the Super Troopers? Like, where are they trooping?
Vermont.
Yeah, it's like Vermont, right?
It's right by Canada. It's Vermont, I believe. And Linda Carter plays the governor who comes and gets their busts. Or looks for their like drug bust or whatever for a little ceremony or something. Open bar, dude. That's the line in the film.
Oh no.
Okay. Have you seen Super Troopers?
Yes, I saw Super Troopers. Okay. It's been a long time. I know they have the rivalry between the Highway Patrol and the like local cops, and it's like this is our territory. I remember the meow scene.
Bear fucker
going
scene is
going
great.
slow, like the car just going really slow.
You're freaking out, man.
Sometimes I get it confused with Reno 911, the movie. Because like there was that scene in Reno, I think it's Reno 911, could be Super Troopers, where like the telephones are unplugged, so no one's calling 911.
That's Reno 911.
Okay, all right.
They unplugged it to make the popcorn maker. Reno 911 Miami and Super Troopers were one of the staple comedies in my household. I've seen both of them a million times, and there's going to be a day when we talk about Reno 911 Miami.
Yes, I love Reno 911.
I love The State. That's their is that the Thomas Lennon one or is that the Super Troopers one? Oh wait, Broken Lizard is Super Troopers. That's their comedy sketch group that they started off in college, and they've all done all the films together. And then Thomas Lennon and his other writing partner who wrote that book, How to Have Fun Writing $1 Million Movies or something like that, are great writers, great comedy writers, and their comedy troupe is called The State, and they did Reno 911, the show together and the movie, and they've done a lot of other projects together, which is awesome. I think I got all that right. I don't know though. Shenanigans. You talking about shenanigans? Super Troopers is great. Lots of great one-liners. Ridiculous humor. They also did awesome films like Beer Fest is another one. They did like a horror movie one. I remember on an island and it's like a resort and there's like a killer and you don't know who's killing everybody. That one's awesome as well. Super Troopers is one of those movies where like how did they get Brian Cox to be in there? He plays their captain. How did they get Linda Carter to come in? How did they get all these great cameos? It's fantastic. It's funny. It's raw. It's gross. It's ridiculous, and it's endlessly quoted by frats all over the world. I've been to my fair share of frat parties. Let me tell you.
I may have seen this in a frat house actually for the first time.
Let me tell you something. Frat houses smell like sex and Thai food. They're so gross. I've spent my time as a sorority chick at plenty of parties there. Yeah, lots of activity going on there. And this movie was endlessly talked about. So Super Troopers, teenage boys love it. Teenage boys are all about this film because it's ridiculous. But
so
it's
there
fun.
You go, guys.
Super
Movies
Troopers.
with donuts.
Movies with donuts.
So far we went from Alien Covenant, then we did reboots with Power Rangers as well as Dredd. Off of Power Rangers, I did movies with donuts in them, and we did Primary Colors as well as Super Troopers. And now Stacey's going to go off of our other film, Dredd.
So for mine, I picked movies where the lead character has his face covered. Like he's in a mask or he's in a helmet. Like Judge Dredd has like a helmet thing kind of covers his face. So I went with a film that I hadn't seen before. It's a comic it's technically not a comic book movie, but it's kind of that genre. And they made up the character like a comic book hero / villain / anti-hero would be.
Darkwing
Darkman.
Okay.
And I don't think it's a comic. I think
let us know if it is.
Let us know if it is. Sam Raimi wanted to do Batman. He wanted to do the Phantom. He wanted to do all these different comic books. couldn't get the rights to it, so he created this anti-hero superhero with Darkman. I think that's what happened. So here we go. Darkman was released in 1990, directed by Sam Raimi. A brilliant scientist left for dead returns to exact revenge on the people who burned him alive. Ah!
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stars Liam Neeson as Darkman, Frances McDormand, Colin Freese, Larry Drake, Dan Tix, Ted Raimi, a bunch of other fantastic character actors. This film, I was made to watch this by my boyfriend. He was like, I love this film.
Made to watch
I was
this.
made to. I was like, I don't want to watch this. This looks stupid. What? And he was like, no, you have to watch it. I have it on Laserdisc. You've got to watch Darkman. So he forced me into watching this film. And it wasn't my favorite, but it is very interesting.
Okay.
And it was the first movie that came to mind because, again, it's of the superhero genre and a comic book genre, but it's not a comic book film because they kind of made it up, but they treated it the same as you would a comic book movie. And it kind of got Sam Raimi into, it gave him one of his first experiences with a studio made film where he had to deal with studios and producers and the money, deal with the money makers coming in and, interrupting your creative process and saying, you can't do this. No, it can't star Bruce Campbell. It's got to be a bigger name. You have to do this. You can't include this. They can't die in that way. That's too violent. And so he was like, my editor had a nervous breakdown during this film. I wanted to quit the industry. There were so many awful things that happened.
That's unfortunate.
And it wasn't exactly the film they wanted to make, but it probably led to him doing Spider-Man, the franchise. It probably led to him saying, okay, if this is what studio made films are, and if this is how you play the game, this is how you need to do it. This is how you need to get something done and still keep your creativity. So it kind of taught him a lesson on how to do that. So I'm going to credit it with that. I read a couple trivia. Bill Paxton was almost cast as Peyton Westlake, who is Darkman. According to Paxton, he told his friend Liam Neeson about the audition, and then Liam Neeson got it, and he was furious and wouldn't talk to him for months after that. That's sad, though.
That is kind of sad.
Yeah, but I feel like in Hollywood, like, that's kind of unavoidable.
I mean, aren't you kind of friends with people that go out for the same things anyways?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I get it.
Yeah.
It being kind of like if you really wanted something.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck, bro? I told you that in confidence. You went and stole my role. I get it. Yeah. And it'd be kind of hard. Julia Roberts was almost cast in Frances McDormand's role, but then she got Pretty Woman instead.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So there you go.
She needed to do that.
She did. Imagine if she had done this, and who would have been Pretty Woman?
Could have been Frances McDormand.
Could have been. We wouldn't have the Julia Roberts toothy grin, big hair that we love today. We wouldn't have that famous stardom. She would have eventually gotten there. Who knows? But Pretty Woman is what catapulted her into that. So would have been interesting to see. Sam Raimi, he wanted to do The Shadow. He wanted to do Batman. He wanted to do all those things, but instead he did Darkman because he couldn't obtain the rights. So he wrote this character capable of changing his own face, and he wanted to draw inspiration from like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Phantom of the Opera, the Elephant Man. So these very tortured men who were brilliant and kind and good people, but their outer self didn't match their inner self, and so that was the struggle. So he wanted an actor who it was in full capacity of that ability to kind of show the pain in the eyes and have all kind of prosthetics and fake teeth, but have it all right here. So he was like, Liam Neeson is the one to do that. I couldn't have found anyone better. So the movie is
pretty great.
He's Liam Neeson. He's a powerhouse actor. He really is. Nowadays we think of him as like, oh, he's taken, he's done all these like action films. Like we forget he's like an incredible, like Schindler's List, Oscar nominated thespian, and his career has taken a transition, but we forget. Look at the originals, There you go. That's Darkman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Darkman.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to go with The Mask, which stars Jim Carrey.
All right.
And Cameron Diaz.
Yes.
Just because I feel like, what's a movie with a mask? That one is. It is.
It is. I almost did that.
Okay, good.
I almost did it. That was almost my movie.
You know what?
I
feel like that was, I want to say Cameron Diaz's debut film, or the film that like kind of again catapulted her into stardom.
She looked gorgeous.
Yeah, and she was like young 20s, of
Yeah.
course, because you got to pair the young 20-year-old with the mid 30-year-old. Although he was probably like, he may have been just older 20s, like late 20s, older 20s,
older 20s. I'm in my older 20s now, you guys. And let me tell you something, it's not the best. Nah, life is great. Yeah, I remember the scene when she comes into the bank and she's like all wet from the rain. And I remember when I was a little girl thinking like, that is a beautiful woman. I want to look like that when I'm older. Yeah, I want to be. And here I am.
She's quite beautiful. You're quite beautiful.
You are too.
I don't remember much about this movie aside from him finding the mask like somewhere random, like on the beach or something.
I think it's in the river.
In the river, somewhere that was wet. Yes, with water, and then putting it on. And I don't even remember like what the end, him throwing it back into the. I don't know. I can't remember how it ends. I just remember all the shenanigans. I do remember a great soundtrack.
Yes,
I loved the soundtrack.
It has like the big band soundtrack.
We danced to it. We definitely did a dance for a halftime football halftime for our dance team in high school. That was like one of the main like Latin songs from there.
The one where where he goes to the club. What was the name of the club? The Banana.
My name is Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. Maybe. When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom. That's the song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did that one. Nice. We did that one.
I remember they did the big band with like
the big band, and then they're dancing all crazy.
Yeah, and it's going nuts. What's the name of the club? Is it the Banana? Someone put it in the chat because I don't want to look it up. I want you guys to look it up, and I want to see if I was right.
Yes.
I remember that dance scene and being like, "Whoa." Like I was because the visuals, all the like special effects they do, I thought looked fun and great. It's for like a little kid. I was
Tunes. That was the inspiration behind that.
Yeah, very Looney Tunes.
The Coco Bongo? Is that the name of it?
Copacabana? No.
Coco Bongo.
Copacabana. Coco Bongo?
Guys,
I don't think so.
Don't just guess it. Okay,
it's
gotta be the Coco Bongo.
This is again. I feel like all of this is leading up to Trivia Schmodown. Is we're gonna get.
It's always how it goes.
Someday. The Coco Bongo.
The Coco Bongo.
If you guys are wrong and you fuck us over, it's gonna be the worst.
If we say Copacabana, I'm coming for you, Frank.
I'm coming for you. Okay, everyone knows it's Coco Bongo. Okay, great. Cool. Yeah, I remember being really into that and being like, I want to do swing dancing.
Right. This was the big time when all those like ska bands and stuff were coming out. Swingers, The Mask.
Yeah.
Gosh, I want to say
it was a big push.
I can't even remember the name. Brian Setzer Orchestra. Yeah, we definitely danced to that. It was like in a Gap commercial. We wore like khaki pants and white shirts, and we did it was crazy. Zoot Suit Riot.
Oh yeah,
so big.
That's right.
So big, guys.
Remember he has his yellow suit on.
Andrew, we're not going to talk about Cars 3 because that's not what this show does.
Why are we talking about Cars 3?
I don't know. He's telling us to talk about it. I'm like, nope,
I don't know.
That's not happening.
I actually have no interest in Cars 3.
I do.
Zero.
Anyways.
Zero.
So there you go.
Yeah.
The Mask.
The Mask.
So we went from Alien Covenant, then we linked it to reboots, where we talked about Power Rangers as well as Dredd. Off of Power Rangers, I went to movies with donuts in them, with primary colors, as well as
Super Troopers.
And then off of Dredd, we went to movies where the main character is wearing a mask. You talked about Darkman. And I talked about The Mask with Jim Carrey. So there you go. There you have it. That's all 7 films.
Show we've had.
I didn't do movie link tweets because Ben normally is the one that takes care of that for us. Like I'll tweet it out and then he'll like compile it all and then he'll send it to me. But he's gone. He's on vacation.
We've gotten too famous, you guys. We can't do the full work of the show anymore. Like we're not going to do our own work.
It's not that. I'm just like there's a lot going on in my life that I'm like I can't take another thing on. If there's anyone that would be interested in doing that job when Ben is not around,
send
let
it
me know.
to me. I mean, I know I work full time and it's hard,
but
you can still send it to me. Yeah,
I try to keep it clear because you got things to do.
I can try.
Okay,
and then if we fail, we fail and we perish.
All right,
and it'll be fine.
It will be fine.
Life is fine, you guys.
So, but we always link it to Kevin Bacon because 6 Degrees of Future Film.
6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon was in X-Men First Class with Michael Fassbender,
who was in Alien Covenant. Nice.
There you go. And now it's time for Better with Rocky. Would Alien Covenant be better with Sylvester Stallone as Rocky, as Billy Crudup's character, and performed by Stacey right now? The reason we do this is because on our 5th episode of this show, we're now 80-something into this.
Jesus.
Stacey did a horrible impression of Rocky the entire time.
Yeah.
And so now we just do it every time. So would Alien Covenant be better with Rocky?
Because we just want to treat you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. All right. I met the devil when I was a child, and I've never forgotten him. So, David, you're going to tell me exactly what's going on, or I'm going to seriously fuck up your perfect composure. Yo! Sorry, you guys. Every time. It's way too loud. I know. Every time.
The green just goes all the way to the top. It goes all the way to the top. What was that? There was one time where I did impression. What was it? Elmo? Not Elmo. Grover? Grover.
What's Grover?
I haven't done
like
Grover
again?
In a while. Wait. Well, I don't know what Grover's gonna say. Grover? Usually I do I don't know. It's like normally I'm talking to my kids when I do the Grover voice. So I have nothing. I don't even know what I can say for Grover right now.
We're gonna
ABCs.
A, B, C. I am Super Grover.
G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
I have not done Grover in a long time.
Q, R, K. I forgot the alphabet. He's not the smartest, you guys. Rocky is.
That's our show.
Character.
That is our show.
What?
We did it.
Yeah.
Oh, we did it, you guys.
Yeah.
I guess we should sign off like this. I don't know. Bye. Bye.
Is that it? We're
yeah.
Done.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Yo.
Bye.
Bye. Yo.
Bye.
Yo, Adrian. Bye. Yo. Bye. Yo.
Bye.
Yo. Yo. Bye. Bye. Bye.